Hey guys, it's Cynical here, and welcome back to another video, and welcome back to the 10th episode in me and Max's Series 1
We've entered double digits now.
It's exciting. I don't know how we've managed to do it. It's almost coming to the end. It's sad, but somewhat relieving in a way.
Yeah, it's gone past. It's gone far. Sorry, I can't speak. It's gone fast, far too quickly for us. I mean, because we're recording this in the space of a couple of weeks, but I don't know how it is from your point of view watching it weekly, but it's certainly gone. Series 1 does feel very quick.
Yeah.
Whereas,
you know what they say? Time flies when you're watching good television.
Yeah. It's weird. Series 12 felt a lot slower, despite it being less episodes. But I remember feeling like I only had... Series 12 only feels like half a series, really, but...
We've managed to turn it into another Chris Chibnall moaning video in under half a minute.
We haven't even started.
That's a record.
No, it's alright. I can't. I won't moan about Chibnall for this one. I don't think I think
it's Moffat's turn.
Yeah. Well, no, I won't.
Yeah.
Like I said last week, I like Moffat. Made some mistakes.
Yeah,
but...
I like Moffat. He has made some mistakes, but his overall 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay, and I say that with great caution.
But it is of great nostalgia to me.
Yeah.
So
and the video will probably be out by now. The Series 5 review. So go and watch that for some good Max reminiscing back on 2010.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about episode 10, not 2010.
I should say the format of this video is slightly different because every single commentary so far I've been recording on my bedroom floor in order to have the thing plugged into the wall. And it's finally occurred to me after, 4 weeks that we've been recording these commentaries that I can actually have the laptop on my bed because the cable's not enough and still have it plugged in. I don't even need it plugged in because it's on 100%. But I don't want it to lose charge, because I want it charged for Monday, when I go to work, shall we say.
School, sixth form.
Yeah, same thing. And but I can actually, I'm not hunched over.
You're trying to sound all professional.
I feel enlightened now. I've had an epiphany, and
we're angsty teenagers moaning about Doctor Who.
It feels really good. I want to sound grown up, Ollie.
He's moving up.
But I want to, it feels really good because actually I'm not hunched over. I can actually have my drink next to me. I don't have to take my headphones off and go to the other side of the room. And go to all that effort to get the drink. I can.
Lovely. Actually, tell you what, I'll do it as well.
It's orange juice. It's very lovely. And I've got my collection of coat hangers here. This one's called Gordon. He's very excited to watch this episode with me.
Would Gordon like to join us? We've never rambled this much. I don't know what's happened. Is it Moffat that's done this to us? Yeah. Or what the fuck is going on? Right, let's get into it. We normally don't talk enough, but I think that, we need to stop now. Right.
Make sure you have the episode ready.
Make sure to have your fingers on the play buttons, as I say every single week, but I can't think of anything else to say.
I've got another thing I'd like to point out, rhetorical question. Why is the theme colour of BBC iPlayer pink? Like, the word iPlayer is pink. Why? Did you in the boardroom meeting, right, we need to think of a design and a logo for BBC iPlayer. Now, all the great logos start with a colour and a theme. What colour should we use for BBC iPlayer? I know, pink.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Why was it not red?
I think it's very similar to the BBC Three logo at the time, and I think they probably imagined that pink was a youth colour. And of course, the technology for on-demand television is youth, so they wanted to appear cool and trendy, which explains the cool and trendy font and the name iPlayer. It's hip, it's futuristic. But anyway, as I say, we are rambling.
That's all we're good for. Let's be honest.
That's the reason you go on to YouTube.
Make sure to check out our last week's video where we hardly rambled at all.
Oh yeah,
empty child.
That's what we needed to say. Yeah, make sure you check out all the previous videos. That's important. We say that,
anyway,
isn't it?
Let's get into it. We've 4 minutes. We need to shut up. Right, let's get into it. So, fingers on play buttons as per usual, and we will start watching in 3, 2, 1. Oh, and it's a little flashback scene. I like those. Pretty nifty they are.
It's a bit odd they don't say previously. Odd little touch, the RTD era, but I think I might have mentioned that already. Something I was saying before we started recording this, and I'll say it now. Bit weird. I found it a bit weird this was called the Doctor Dances, given the Doctor Dancing is not even a crucial part of the plot.
Sorry. I couldn't resist. I felt it coming in a form.
But yeah, the Doctor Dancing is not a crucial element of the plot. It's just a throwaway not a gag, but throwaway moment towards the end. But of
Oh,
course,
it's an innuendo. It's classic Stephen Moffat.
But
Oh, the Doctor has a penis. Oh, it's funny because it's
apparently
sex.
the Big Bang is a sexual innuendo, and Moffat was very smug because he was the only person that knew it at the time. Because the Big Bang actually refers to the because it's Amy and Rory's wedding night, and of course they do it on the TARDIS and produce Melody Pond or whatever song.
Oh dear.
But of course, the Doctor, it actually says that on TARDIS Data Core.
Well, at least it's not Big Finish Productions.
I discovered that when I researched it for my 10 Years of Series 5 video, which you can watch if you haven't already, despite the fact it's very dull and unoriginal. But back to my
it's not
point.
as bad as Big Finish Productions, which were originally going to be called Rock Hard Productions. I mean, could you imagine that?
Well, they are rock hard, aren't they? But yeah, the Doctor dances.
Oh dear.
In some ways, the Doctor does dance, but with his "Everybody Lives" thing at the end. But we'll get to that. What do you make of this moment? A very unusual resolution to a very typical cliffhanger.
It's Dr. Daddy. Yeah. Interesting.
I mean, Eccleston, yeah, quite intimidating, yeah.
I wonder if Eccleston does that with his kids.
Very weird.
Yeah. Just imagine if it hadn't.
It's a bit weird having the resolution like that before the titles.
But nice titles.
What do you
they
make?
are.
It used to be, obviously, we had the BBC logo just slapped on the titles or the pre-title sequence, and that was the case with every single BBC show that they made during the noughties. But nowadays, they like to slap it on the logos. They started doing that from 2011. Which do you prefer?
The early one, I think.
Well, I mean,
I think
it's a bit.
Having it on the logo, it's a bit interrupt.
I would like to see the current logo being used
hang on, I've got another one. Oh, there we go.
I'd like to see the current logo being used without the BBC thing more often, but I like the latter approach, really. But, I mean, we've had that for quite a long time, so it's...
I like how you just straight up blanks my burp. That was a good one. It wasn't good. It was a bit of a stifly one. But
there was an energy and a gravitas to it. It was all right.
Had a bit of low end on it,
Because there's a war on. Yeah, but of course... Yeah, but... What if he asks for his money back?
I don't know.
Well, to be honest, Track probably hasn't thought it through.
No.
And of course, this is an interesting thing. Can we trust Captain Jack? Is he lying or not? And of course, it's such an interesting twist that you don't see coming. That actually, there is something on it, but he never considered it, and he did think.
Nice line about Volcano Day there from Eccleston. Again, the period.
I mean, high stakes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah, bit of a fake out there. At least it wasn't played by... Who was it that Sacha Dhawan was credited in the Ascension of the Cybermen? Who was supposed to be called Fake Out. Yeah,
and of course they used that name, but then it turned out that Barak Stemis is a real person, and he's ended up taking the credit. And we have had worse child actors in Doctor Who, though.
Oh God, definitely.
The Almost People, The Forest of the Night. And those kids are probably all grown up, and it's nothing against the kids. They're
Nightmare in Silver.
Well, that one left a script in a taxi, so...
Ah, classic quote.
I hate bananas. And did you
I
notice
hate bananas
the
too.
subtitles on
Disgusting.
BBC iPlayer? His line, "Bananas are good." The subtitles were yellow. Bananas
Ah,
are yellow. Well,
rich in potassium, Rose.
well,
Good for
sometimes
your
they're
heart.
green, actually, but
Hmm.
well done. Yeah, he said something got out of here. Excellent deduction. You're gonna give Sherlock a run for his money. No, people are always talking about Sherlock Doctor crossover. What about a Sherlock Captain Jack crossover? Is this making up for our Father's Day commentary yet?
I think so. I mean, we discussed how the Jagrafest might taste, but have we discussed how the kid might taste?
Oh God, no! You need psychiatric help.
I admit that was wrong. I'll stop.
What? What?
I mean, it could be worse. We could just be discussing Margaret the Slovene.
What you should be doing, instead of asking how the kids taste, right? Instead of discussing something as sick as that,
God!
you need to be discussing what the gas masks would taste like.
Asbestos. I mean, what does the Absorbaloff taste like? Taste like chicken.
That's not even the series.
Yeah, I don't care. It's still good. And if anyone tells me Love and Monsters isn't good, they can fucking burn.
Don't drag the Absorbaloff into this, please.
Yeah.
This is a Stephen Moffat. This is a deep, serious, dark horror story, right?
All right. What does the hybrid taste like then? Shit.
No, but
I bet.
This is a dark, deep, moody horror story set in the middle of the night. Don't drag the Absorbaloff into this. I always liked this.
I like Nancy's dialogue.
Yeah,
here,
I always like this scene. Who's the guy there? I want to find it. Oh. Was his name Mr. Lloyd?
I think so.
Apparently it's
Something like
Damien Samuels. I think he's brilliant in this. He doesn't have his own Wikipedia page, so...
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Oh.
Fantastic.
Brilliant acting. Yeah, we were saying last week, apparently, so Nancy is played by Florence Hoth, who, she was in all sorts of stuff during the 90s and the noughties, but, she gave up acting. But I'm just reading an interview she gave in Doctor Who magazine, upon the 10th anniversary of this story. When she auditioned, apparently Nancy was a much smaller part. And she says, when I was called back, they told me that they'd expanded the character, which was obviously very nice to hear. Definitely worked in my favour that I looked young for my age. I would have been 20 then, but looking like a teenager helped. Oh, I love.
Hang on,
I
here on TARDIS fandom. No, I was right. According to the Doctor, human race has a focus on breeding with aliens, then by using dancing as a euphemism for sex. I was right.
Oh, is it?
It is Stephen Moffat being raunchy.
Well, did he actually say it in an interview that it was deliberate? And
Well, no, it's written here, but yeah, everyone.
Oh, it's
figured it
written on
out.
the website, so of course it's true.
Obviously.
I
wonder if we've still died yet of coronavirus by the time this goes out. Oh dear.
We need to stop mentioning that. The whole point of these videos is that they are escapism from the real world.
I know, but that's going to be hard next week when we come to capital punishment. And Max only last week got tried. He's on death row actually as with the time of recording this.
What?
He's in a cell. Don't pretend like it's not happening.
Why was I not informed of this?
Remember last week when you were talking about Debussy? It wasn't Debussy, it was the
yeah.
screams of your neighbour in your cell next door. You're going mad, Max, you're going mad.
Yeah, I thought it looked a bit grimy in my bedroom, all sorts of cobwebs.
I've lifted myself off the floor and I'm sitting on the toilet.
I was spending all of yesterday looking for the window. I can't find the window.
The thing is, we could be in prison and they just don't know it, you know. We've never seen my room.
Yeah, we could be living in the Matrix, and
We hold our heads in the Doctor Who theme place and explode.
we can't remember being born.
Okay, this has just gotten weird now. I love this line. That's what she said. Sorry, couldn't resist. Ooh.
I really like this, the bickering between the Doctor and Jack. That line is great. I always find it a bit of a shame the sonic screwdriver doesn't look more like a screwdriver.
Well, it's Sonic, so...
This is what I was talking about last week, the Moffat humour and dialogue. Someone please put a dance mix together of Christopher Eccleston shouting, "Assets! Assets!"
Was that ever explained?
Well, he's got like a teleport thing, probably. I'm sure it'll be. I think we're probably there's no exposition. We're credited with intelligence, which is probably why it's never explained.
I forgot we missed a bit earlier where the tape keeps on running.
Oh yeah,
that's quite a
nice
scary
moment.
bit.
Especially
I think we were talking
when
about
you're not familiar
prison.
with tape, it's a bit weird, but. Nice bit of light humour here, but.
Oh, and there's another creepy bit to do with that in a minute.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not quite as good as you said there were 5 people in this room, so why are there 6 in Forest of the Dead? Another Moffat episode, but. Child actors here are good, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I think also the direction and the writing have something to do with that. Right. Alright. Jamie's voice was actually recorded on tape. While compact magnetic tape recorders were developed in Germany in the 1930s, technology did not make its way to the rest of the world until after World War II. So it's anachronistic for the time period. The BBC would have used wire recording, but recording gramophones using wax discs as a medium were more common. Stephen Moffat acknowledges this mistake in the DVD commentary, but jokingly suggests that an ancestor of Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart stole the machine from Germany to help with the war effort. So that's fascinating information from notwikipedia.org.
Yeah. This is great.
Yeah. And, you know, as an audience watching this for the first time, you're like, what could it possibly be? Can't possibly be the nanogenes. Surely that was a throwaway moment. But of course, it's hidden in plain sight, and it really rewards repeat viewings, doesn't it? Tune you through, because that's like, more important than staying safe. But you know, it makes more and more sense the more you watch it. It's probably because I've watched it so often. I think it's quite a lightweight story. But. See, it is explained. He teleported. But of course, we already knew that.
I didn't.
You could have guessed it.
Yeah. Omcom.
Oh, child coming away. That's a double entendre if ever there was one. Omcom, aren't they the television regulators in this country? No, for those outside the country, they're actually called Ofcom at the moment. But...
Actually, I looked at my statistics. I think there's some. I've got a viewer from like India or Austria, I think.
All right. So. Hello to them.
If they're still around. They haven't killed themselves from looking at our channel for too long.
I don't know how we could possibly have that impact. I mean, I had my moment near the end of Dalek, but Dalek commentary. I thought it was relevant to what we were talking about. What can I say? I happen to have the quote tucked away.
What was
on
it?
my laptop.
I
was just a thing about why people kill themselves. You know, that lovely.
God, that was strange. I forgot about that.
Did you know Glenn Miller disappeared when he was travelling to entertain US troops in France, not troops in trance during World War II? Although that would be interesting. But his aircraft disappeared in bad weather over the English Channel. Oh, conspiracy theories. So apparently...
Oh, hang on. We get the quote of the series here. Just be quiet, listen, ready? Hang on.
Sorry, Rose Tyler, by sitting in that wheelchair, is making fun of disabled people, and I find that shameful.
That is so rude. I hate it.
Yeah.
God, Rose.
Ban this episode. Ban this filth. Ban it.
Listen, hang on, ready?
Just a joke.
Hang on. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, Stephen Moffat. Oh,
yeah,
hang on. It's coming up to the good bit. Hang on. It's the best bit of series 1. No, hang on. Shh. Hang on. Whoa! He's trying to resonate concrete. He's trying to resonate concrete for the boys.
Well, that was worth waiting for, wasn't it? Can I please talk about the conspiracy theory surrounding Glenn Miller's mysterious disappearance now?
No.
Right, what...
I saw your sneaky little message about Jeffrey Epstein in your False World 4, you sneaky fuck.
Look, yeah, but anyone would have noticed it. 2 false theories have been promulgated about Miller's death. That sounds painful. One was that he was assassinated after Dwight D. Eisenhower, that's the president, sent him on a secret mission to negotiate a peace deal with Nazi Germany, which was easily disproved by the people who saw him enter the C-64 Norseman aircraft.
It's funny because it's not true.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't get a jazz musician to negotiate a peace deal with fascists. Even if he is charming, he's not qualified.
Okay.
What's he going to do, play them the trumpet?
You might do. He might do, well, you hear this walking bass line, I'm going to walk out of this office.
Oh, no, he played the trombone, sorry. That's me not doing my research.
You are a trombone.
Another theory was that his plane was destroyed by bombs dumped from Allied bomber planes returned from an aborted raid over Germany. This was very unlikely because the timing was off by now and the location was wrong. So I thought those conspiracy theories were going to be exciting, like he was abducted by aliens or something. Again, we said last week Shula was named after a restaurant. Which might sound weird, but it's not. I mean, Revelation of the Daleks. Revolution hasn't even aired yet. But
we might have some more information about it, though.
Well, Revelation of the Daleks, Kara is named after a potato. And Eric Say was very proud of that fact on the commentary. A lot of the characters and concepts are inspired by a holiday that he had to Rhodes while he was writing the script. So Kara's named after a bag of potato chips, like a certain brand they had there. And I think Orsini is inspired by the history of Rhodes and the conquistadors. But the commentary is very fascinating on DVD if you haven't listened to it, because there's a moment where, some character I can't remember the name of, and they're sort of sneaking around. And the one that gets tortured later on in part 1, and like being force-fed alcohol. And Eric Saywood is just when he comes on, it's like, I hear the person who played him is dead. He says it in such a cheery way.
You told me about that.
Yeah. But anyway, that's very tangential.
Well, that's the way Eric Saywood speaks, isn't it?
Well, he's not normally that cheery. I mean, I like Eric Saywood. I know that's controversial, but...
Good stories. Attack of the Cybermen, Resurrection, Revelation, all that. Earthshock. Yeah, good. He looks like a beaver, not gonna lie. Sorry if that's a bit...
Which one?
He looks slightly otterish,
that
doesn't
one
he?
there.
Yeah. No offence to whoever this is. And he looks like a royal. Editing was a bit choppy there.
Well, there's only one bad moment in the whole series, so nice bit of light humour. I mean, this is what Doctor Who does best. It's a very dark moment because it's starting to take him over, but it's presented in the form of a joke. You're sort of laughing and panicking at the same time. I mean, we get that all the time in the best Doctor Who, particularly Robert Holmes. I like that. Does any other show or film do that so well? Oh, I've got a cold. It's not coronavirus.
Oh dear.
Sorry, yeah. You know what I said earlier about escapism? Fuck escapism.
Yeah.
We're all hypocritical, all us humans, to a certain extent.
And by the way, if anyone's watching this, I don't know how whenever this comes out, will it be May or April?
It will be 28th of May.
Fuck me.
Feels ages away. By that time, we'll probably all be dead, killed in a nuclear holocaust.
Yeah, probably.
We were saying about the great performances. I do think the performances are great.
Yeah. I mean,
we
as
don't
I was
even
saying,
see
the exhausted topic of
here this
the
time round.
Corin avarice is originally I found it taxing and tiring, and whoever spoke about it was a brain dead individual. But there's literally nothing anyone in the world is talking about anymore. So fuck it.
Yeah. Well, I'm seeing YouTube videos not refer to it by name because apparently you get demonetized.
Yeah.
So you've just demonetized this video, Oliver. Well done.
Oh no! As if any people are going to watch this series.
Have you monetized your channel in the first place?
No.
Ooh. That's what he said.
Oh. Hang on, no, just because I did it doesn't... No, whatever.
Oh god. Moffat really turned... There's been sexual innuendo so far in the last... Particularly in Dalek, but Moffat turns it up to 11 here, doesn't he? Again, this is... You're laughing, but...
This doesn't tie in. This doesn't tie in at all.
The nanogene spread when he was in the tent with the other guy.
I'm not sure whether this ties in with Torchwood Series 1, Episode 12. The episode called Captain Jack Harkness, where we go back to World War II, and we find out where Captain Jack got his roots from. Well, what he was doing in World War II. And he actually stole his identity from another person called Captain Jack Harkness.
Well, that's fascinating.
But it doesn't... No, because it doesn't... I don't know whether it links up properly. Interesting.
Oh. Apparently, when Nancy cuts the barbed wire fence in a minute, you hear the Torchwood TV theme.
Oh.
So that's not...
Maybe Nancy is Torchwood. Ooh.
Um. The pacing's pretty quick, is it? But it does feel.
Where are we? Oh, bloody
We
hell.
only
God, that...
we still have
25 minutes.
We still have 15 minutes left.
That is
And
very
it feels
quick,
like
though.
we're near the end.
I don't remember it dragging, so it should be okay. But
Apparently...
I don't remember Captain Jack's introduction to the TARDIS, so I think it would be nice to see that again.
Yeah. The sonic blaster used by Jack to blast open the door earlier on is destined to be kept in the TARDIS for River Song to find so that she can use it in Forest instead.
She uses it?
Yeah.
Oh. See? How do you set the setting? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but...
Yeah, I think you... Did you briefly hear the bubble there?
No.
Oh, no. Oh.
I was talking over it, sorry.
Couple of interesting facts, but I think I'll save them for later. Including some stuff about... do you know where the Bad Wolf Arc is in this?
Let me have a guess. Actually, I can't be bothered. No, where is it?
Well, it's on the German bomb that Jack sits on in a few moments. It has the German word Schlechter Wolf stamped on the side.
Oh!
But
that's clever.
The translation... Yeah, it would be clever if the translation was actually correct. Because Schlechter means bad in the sense of inadequate rather than the fairy tale-like sense of evil which is meant to be invoked. A more proper translation would be Böser Wolf. Ein Bösewicht. Da, 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 da.
I can only apologise for what's going on right now.
Does anyone? Is anyone?
He's under the influence of certain substances.
I'm not. Does anyone study A-level music in England? Because if they do, then they'll know that one of the set works is the magic flute, Die Zauberflöte, the last
Especially
play
Stephen
Moffat
Moffat
did.
story. He has to have a bit of
Mozart, not Moffat.
Stuff to.
And you know, it's very good. And
see, he's delusional.
Mozart's
again. He's in the cell.
Can I just say, I do like the magic flute. I digress here, but the magic flute is good.
Review?
Very good cure for insomnia. I watched it on Christmas Day, and everyone around me fell asleep.
It's a crack needle. That's what he thinks. That's what he calls it.
I started to feel a bit woozy. And I have a Mozart CD that also produces a similar effect. I used to listen to that to cure insomnia at bedtime.
Mozart CD is a slang for heroin in,
compact discs.
It's unfortunate, but make sure to donate below.
Link in description. I never knew compact discs had heroin or asbestos. I thought they had asbestos in them. Oh. This is a brilliant resolution and brilliant explanation for it.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to shut up, because this is a good exposition.
And like I was saying earlier...
I might have to review this story.
Oh yeah, that line there, nature's way of keeping meat fresh. Moffat had originally used that in the second series of his 90s sitcom Joking Apart. He reused it here as he thought it was a good line. And he's very angry that people quote lines from this episode instead of that one. The nanogenes were originally called nanites up until a very late stage, but Helen Rayner, who was the script editor, decided this name was too similar to other nanotechnological devices in Star Trek The Next Generation. Brilliant delivery from Eccleston here.
There we go, that was another one. What should you call that one? I'm going to call it Dave. Sorry.
And it's
I'm
like,
cold,
up until
actually.
this moment, the Doctor's sort of been taking a back seat. He's not been driving events, but from this point, he really takes the fall. In fact, a lot of stories in Series 1, he is not the person who saves the day. It's other humans. But of course, we have the brilliant moment in a bit. I mean, there's a brief moment where the stakes feel very high, and he's not sure if he's gonna do it. Oh.
This is great.
Oh. It's a nice inversion because we normally have mothers who would do anything to save their children.
This is great.
Bit of an odd sweep there of the orchestra. She says it's my fault. Probably didn't need that, but
no. But this moment is great.
But Murray Gold rarely sets a foot wrong. Not just in Series 1, but in general.
This scene's good.
Series 9 and 10, it gets a bit bombastic, but he's just been there for too long, I think. It's such a twist, but it makes so much sense. Yeah, that effect there is very weird compared to the teleport effects we see later on. It's like a little pump and then he's gone, as opposed to a...
You're talking over this good emotional moment.
Oh, the music here.
Very good.
No pressure.
Oh, just kicked my desk.
Do you have anger issues then?
Yes, it's just the snoring.
You're not kicking it hard enough by the sounds of it. You really need to give it a good.
I won't drop too much attention. I won't drop too much attention. The guards will hear me, and then you know what they'll do. So I think this joke has gone on long enough. I'm normal. I'm not in jail. We're not in jail. Max is a crack addict, but we're not in jail. So.
I mean, yeah, I do like. I mean, they say about the cracks in my bedroom, and my parents are saying we need to paper over. We need to get those cracks sorted. But I like them. They make the room more homely. So in that sense, yes, I am a crack addict.
Oh dear. Nice nano jeans again, though. Nice nano jeans, Gromit.
I never thought we'd be dragging Wallace and Gromit into this.
Well, no, because in the Dalek commentary, which we did only 2 days ago, there's that moment where I started laughing maniacally for about a minute and couldn't stop.
Right.
Because I just out loud, without control, just went, "What's a Gromit theme?" Like I didn't mean to. It was like Tourette's. It just happened, and.
There's an interesting moral dilemma because Peter Sellers, who voiced Wallace, has passed away, and yet they're still doing DFS adverts. And he's now voiced by Ben Whitehead, who's the understudy. He's very good, but do you think it's disrespectful to Peter Sellers that they're still carrying on with the characters?
A little bit.
But let's not get into that now. There's just Eccleston's performance here. His joy really feels genuine, and this is the first time we've had an uplifting message like this. Everyone lives. And you're thinking, what took you so long to have a message like that? And that is the Doctor. And I can't even explain it in words, but
Where does he keep the bomb in correlation to the ship?
just on the ship. It's not.
It's
not important. Once we've recorded this, you need to go out and take a walk. I'm just telling you politely.
Nah.
Nanogene's
Walking
appeared
people
a bit
with
late
legs.
now.
I don't actually have legs. I'm just.
That's
a
a great shot. Then.
I'm just a bowl full of opinions, and every time I pull one out and record it.
Chris Eccleston here.
Oh, thanks. I hadn't noticed.
So I didn't quite catch what he said. Did you catch what he said?
No, I burped at the end there.
Yeah.
Sorry. My microphone cover stinks. Hang on. Oh, it's quite stodgy. Sorry. There's a great line in a second.
Oh, Richard Wilson's a great actor. He was so great in the last episode, but of course he can do the dry comedy very well. Moffat understands the Doctor, and of course the humour in this bit.
This line. Hang on.
Apparently that's Vilma Hollenberry playing Mrs. Harcourt.
What you could do with Nana Jeans at the moment, when you think about it. Oh, just imagine in Fugitive that Jack has his Nana Jeans. He's like, none of you have got illnesses, do you? And then he uses the Nana Jeans to get rid of Graham's cancer.
Lovely. Arnold T.
Sorry, that was a
Blumberg,
bit outfield.
I think, said very well in his review of this episode that the episode manages to smoothly present a ton of techno babble with clarity and precision. I think I agree with that. But
how many?
I do love.
How many pillars are there in the console room? Just
I don't care, but what I care about is this moment. This is a lovely moment. Everybody lives, but what about Jack? I always thought it'd be quite an interesting decision if the Doctor is on that high, but then he's unable to save Jack. But of course, that would somewhat undermine the optimism, because it's supposed to be optimistic, because Doctor Who doesn't work as a pessimist show.
Even though it's literally World War II, and not everyone lives.
Well, yeah. I wonder what happened to the escape pod.
Why could he not just throw the bomb? Oh, I don't know.
Bit of a politician's answer, that. Because it just gave the time before actually giving the probability.
Well, it actually answered the question.
Yeah, but it took a while to get to it.
Okay, fair enough.
And if you just let me finish.
Finish what? You didn't say anything.
I was mocking politicians. Oh. I'm allowed to do that, aren't I?
Yeah, why not? Oh dear.
Stock computer whirring sound effects in the background. I remember those from the Trailer Maker. Do you remember the Trailer Maker they had online?
No.
Never mind. I thought he played a little bit of music while he was on the ship. And I was going to say...
I love that shot. That shot is fantastic.
Yeah, great. But I thought he was going to say to the computer, play some music, and it was going to be Glenn Miller, and I was going to say that Jack really needs to expand his tastes.
Oh, I remember it now. That's how he comes aboard the TARDIS.
Yeah. And they were saying before the Matt Smith era, there had never been a shot where you go out of the TARDIS and straight in. Or, but you have a shot similar to that here, but just going in the opposite direction.
But the Bells of St. John one is a lot better, I think.
Well, I was thinking of the Snowmen and Day of the Doctor, but Bells of St. John is...
I can't remember the one where it goes round and they go off and it's on the plane. That is awesome.
Oh, yeah. Really good pacing of that moment. Bit odd that they've got disco lights going on in the TARDIS.
Yeah, it's because they're listening to music.
It's mood lighting.
Oh, this moment's fantastic.
Well done. Before you know it, it'll be doing the Africa Bambaataa break dancing, and I don't know any break dancers. Africa Bambaataa is actually a hip hop star, but from the 80s. But Another note I found on the thing,
TARDIS looks quite turquoise here, doesn't it? I don't know how I
they
feel
did a
about
weird
that.
thing with the lighting in Series 2 where it was quite dark and bluey. Similar to this.
Prefer the green rather than the blue.
It's like they went through a lighting crisis with this TARDIS. It was
Yeah.
different from one series to the
And
next.
in the end of time, it's just overlit to hell.
Yeah, very brown.
Yeah.
It's from that.
And
It's like that from Series 3
genuinely in
onwards.
Series 4. Oh, and we come to Boomtown.
Oh yeah, I love this one.
We've reviewed this episode twice, haven't we? 'Cause
Yeah.
I did it in my top 10, you did it in your underrated.
Yeah.
But it's a very good episode. And
Yeah.
we'll ramble
I
more
just
about
want to
it
read a
next
note
week.
out from the TARDIS Data Call website. Originally, the story following the Doctor dances was meant to have Captain Jack discover that the Doctor's been manipulating Rose's life to create the perfect companion, Sylvester McCoy style, explaining the circumstances behind the Doctor's comment of her receiving a red bicycle at Christmas. The story was ultimately scrapped when its scriptwriter Paul Abbott was unavailable. The comment was later expanded upon in the story The Red Bicycle as part of the 12 Doctors of Christmas set. I do love the way that Next Time trailer ends, by the way. They're starting to get better with the Next Time trailers. Subtitles by Kate Spence.
But yeah, what a great,
Yeah.
good episode. I really enjoyed that. I think I'd probably still give that an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Not perfect, but very good going by Moffat's
I enjoyed
first.
it. I think I prefer the
his
first
proper
part,
entry for
but
Who,
it does all
yeah.
come together very well in the second part. I feel like it's a little bit more subdued. Empty Child, there's never a dull moment. And while I wouldn't go so far as to say the Doctor Dances was dull, because obviously that would be heresy, it's like you feel like less is happening. Which is weird, because not a lot happens in the Empty Child either. But
Well, the pacing is, for a two-parter, the pacing's, I'd say, better.
yeah,
Definitely better than the Slovene two-parter, Aliens of London, World War 3.
yeah. I do like
but
the
yeah,
Slovene story, though.
Yeah, I think I'd probably prefer that, but this one is still enjoyable. John Barrowman was really good as Captain Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Eccleston was fantastic as Nine.
Billy
and
Piper,
Billy
Florence
Piper as
Hove, they were
Rose,
all
and,
tremendous.
Yeah, awesome. Really enjoyed that one, more than I thought I would. But yeah, that's going to round off a nice day's worth of recording, and I hope you enjoyed that. I think that's all we really have to say, but make sure to join us next week for Boomtown.
Yeah.
Make sure to check out our prior 7 episodes. No, 8 episodes in the...
No, it's...
Oh god,
no,
10! Check out
this
the prior...
is episode 10.
Yeah, check out our
I
prior
nearly-
9. God, I can't...
I nearly read it as series 110.
Yeah, check out over 110 episodes in this series.
No, this is...
And,
yeah.
Make sure to... I was joking, by the way. I know we haven't actually done 110 episodes.
Yeah, it's series 110, not episode 110.
Anyway, make sure to join us back here next week for Boomtown, the penultimate story in a way.
Boomtown.
Yeah. Why do you always say it like that? You said it like that in your video. Why?
Because it sounds cool. It's boom. There needs to be an impact. It's got to have impact.
Okay, make sure to join us next week for
It's got to have a bit of oomph.
Boomtown.
Yeah, like that.
Ooh, explosions and riffs and Slovenes and fat people. Oh, it's got everything. It's got steak and chips. Good old Eccleston with his steak and chips. Ooh.
I thought the Doctor was supposed to be a vegetarian.
Ooh, poison darts through the fingers, exhaled through the breath. Ooh,
Exhaled through the lungs. That's what she says. See, that's how
Mickey
well I know
Smith.
this episode.
Wow, it's Cardiff. It's anyway.
You
Yeah,
carry on
make sure
doing
to join
that,
us
and
next
I'll
week.
sign
Yeah.
off. So, thank you very much for watching.
Ooh, explosions. The
like and
TARDIS.
share
Oh, she's an egg.
this video.
Capital punishment.
Please make
Her
sure to
organs
subscribe
drip out.
because it helps
She's got
the channel.
diarrhea and she's
Follow
talking
us
to a
on
woman
Twitter
with a
and
kid.
DeviantArt and
Slipped on a
all the
very icy
places in
patch.
the
It was a very icy
description.
patch.
And see you next week.
It's a surfboard.
Have
an
a good
intergalactic
week.
surfboard.
Goodbye.
Yeah, fuck off.